Thankfully tonight, the humidity has backed off a little bit. 78, feels about like 82, 83 out here. Ain't too bad. This is about as big as this fire is going to get. Weather has been a pretty big topic lately. And you may be wondering, what the hell does that have to do with the title? Well, for me, I've never been too big on ghost stories. But I happen to live in a place that has a weather predicting ghost. And that's what I'm going to tell you tonight. The story of the Gray Man. What we call the Grand Strand is a place, it's Myrtle Beach to Murrells Inlet, right in through there. And for more than 2 centuries, it has been the site of a rather famous haunting. The Gray Man is said to be a nebulous, man-shaped sort of cloud of mist that appears to people on the beaches in the Grand Strand area. Been witnessed many, 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 many times. Always before a serious hurricane, and only before the ones that strike that area. I remember first hearing about him when I was young and kind of laughing. Like, sure, you know, whatever. But Hurricane Hugo happened. It was the first serious hurricane that I can remember when I was younger. We had a couple, but that one wrecked some shit. And it was in that general area that it came ashore. Now, say what you want, but people seeing the same ghost for 200 years plus is something. People only seeing them in certain circumstances, and what resulted from them seeing it being so thoroughly consistent as to make the freaking news ahead of a hurricane that we knew was coming. There's a little more to it, I think. Now, for all I know, It's an environmental phenomenon nobody's been able to pick up on or figure out. A certain kind of air current that comes through at the right time to kick up a certain kind of dust off a beach. Somebody sees it, thinks it's a ghost. Who knows? Who knows? But it's been happening for a minute. And for some strange reason, the people that see it, when they rush home and they tell friends, family, and neighbors about it, the reaction's always the same. The family, friends, and neighbors all pack the fuck up and they get out. Every time. Every time. The witness and their home is spared. The people who have stayed watch as the houses on either side of them are washed out to sea. They don't lose a shingle. The water might come up over the bottom of their house a little bit. That's it. Their homes are fine. I want to say the first sightings, or at least recorded sightings, were in the late 1700s, early 1800s. If memory serves, which it doesn't always do. But the reports are completely consistent. And there's evidence in the form of spared homes. People coming back and seeing everything for a mile in either direction flattened, except for their house. Because they did what they were supposed to do. When you're given a warning, you're meant to spread that warning. And they do. Almost without fail, they spread that warning. As I stated, even so much so that it gets passed around on local news. Even, you know, this far up. It's a 4-hour drive to the beach. Well, it's another interesting point that as our ability to predict the paths of hurricanes has improved, the sightings have been less and less frequent. It appears to fewer and fewer people. And again, it's only with hurricanes that are going to impact that area. Doesn't appear for tropical storms. Nobody's come in Chicken Little style screaming that the sky was falling for a tropical storm, a tropical depression, a hurricane that ends up petering out before it gets to Myrtle Beach. No, that doesn't happen. Because, of course, the warning would get around and everybody would be laughing at you. We'd all know if there'd ever been a miss. There's never been a miss. I'm inclined to believe that there's something to it. Just from what I know from having lived here and grown up here. And having been down on the coast when a bad storm hit, it's not someplace you want to be. You know, you hear wind, lightning, or you hear wind, thunder, and see the lightning, and it's just, storms on the sea, on the coast are something serious. But hurricanes, more than a few times in my life, I have been here in the upstate of South Carolina, and the damn storm still be a hurricane when it got here. It's nothing you want to experience. It's a sight and a half to see. But this ghost has never let us down. It always appears within 2 days before the storm hits. I think some of the accounts have it up to a week out, but most of the ones I've heard been 2 or 3 days. And those people get on the phone. They send runners back when they didn't have phones. Everybody pack up and get out. I don't have data or information on what happened to the people that heard and didn't listen and didn't run. Of course, nowadays we have pretty good radar, decent computers. We can predict a lot of what a storm's going to do. Yeah. When we didn't, it was a different deal. There are tales that have survived through many generations in the form of diaries, in the form of news reports, such as they were at the time, of people seeing whole homes lifted up and carried out to sea. You can still see the lights burning as it floated off into the ocean. Finally lost buoyancy and sank with the whole family in it. It's serious business. And for people who are used to seeing this sort of thing, this level of destruction, to be so wholeheartedly convinced of the efficacy of this prediction, when you see it, when word gets out that it's been seen, people scramble. Now nowadays we have the computers, we have the satellites, we have the information. We throw the switch, everybody, they reverse whole highways. Anything headed south no longer does so. You're driving north on that sucker. And it works. I feel bad for states that don't do that. I think most of them do now, especially after Katrina.